Hello, hello. Welcome back to Leap Taken, where I talk all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. I'm so glad you're here because today's deep dive, first deep dive, by the way, of the series, is both delicious and daring. We're talking about sex, pleasure, and power in witchcraft. And yes, all three are sacred. All three are part of our magical heritage. And yes, some people still see them as taboo, but not here. This is a safe, magical space where we talk about reclaiming the erotic as divine, where we face shame head on and transmute it into power, where we turn pleasure into spellwork, into statement, into a whole way of life. So if you're ready to drop deeper into your witchcraft practice and deeper into your own body, this video is for you. Light your candle, wrap yourself in something soft, breathe a little deeper because we're going to go there. That's why. The sacred has always been sensual. Let's start with something we don't hear enough. Sacred sexuality is ancient. It's not new. It's not fringe. It's not dirty. Across time, across cultures, sexuality has been tied to divinity, to creation, to power. Let's name a few. Aphrodite, also known as Venus in Roman myth, was more than a love goddess. She represented irresistible power. Her beauty was a spell in itself, and she knew it. She reminds us that desire is a force that bends reality. And then there's Oshun, the Orisha of rivers and sweetness, of honey and seduction. She shows us that sensuality is healing, that beauty, flirtation, and luxury are medicine. Oh, and Lilith. Perhaps my soon-to-be favorite, who refused to be submissive. She was cast out and demonized, but in that exile, she became powerful, unbound. Lilith is the witch's witch, the one who walks away from control and into her own pleasure and rage and knowing. Then we have Tantra, which in its true form, it's not just about sex, but about presence, union, deep embodiment. It's about learning to stay inside pleasure, not to rush to release, but to marinate in it. There were also rituals of moon blood where menstruation was not hidden, but honored, where the body's natural rhythms were part of the earth's magic. And rose rites, sensual rituals involving roses, oils, baths, perfumes, and the art of adornment were often tied to goddess worship. So I ask you, what are your inherited myths? Who taught you what sex was and wasn't? And how much of that still lives in your body today? Let's begin to clear some of that. Pleasure is not a distraction. It's a power source. Let's shift the narrative, okay? Pleasure isn't just something to be earned on the weekends. It's not a guilty indulgence. It's not a reward. Pleasure is fuel. It's a power source. It's energy. And witches, We know how to work with energy. The act of pleasure, whether from a soft caress or an intense climax, raises energy. Breath quickens. The heart races. The body opens. That energy can be focused and channeled. Let's break this down. You can raise energy through self-touch, erotic movement or dance, breath work, music that awakens your senses, intimate connection with another or with yourself. You can direct that energy into a sigil, into a candle spell, into a prayer, into the earth, into your own healing. Y'all, orgasm is a portal. It's a spell portal. Not because it's sexy, but because in that moment of release, you are open. The veil thins. You're not in your mind. You're in your body. You're in your soul. You're in the now. In that moment, speak your intention. Whisper your desire. See it clearly. Let that energy carry it into the universe. Self-worship is a spell. Let's talk about self-worship. I know that word makes some people feel uncomfortable. That's because we've been conditioned to look outward for praise, approval, and validation. But what if you turn that energy inward? What if you woke up and looked in the mirror and said, I am divine. I am worthy of adoration. I am magnetic, luminous, powerful. Self-worship isn't arrogance. It's alignment. It's standing in your truth. It's claiming your beauty, your sensuality, your magic. It's choosing to be your own altar. Here are 3 simple ways to practice self-worship. Anoint yourself daily. You can use your oils, perfume, your lotion, whatever you love. As you apply it, say a loving affirmation. Let your hands bless your skin. The second option, mirror gazing. Sit in front of a mirror, light a candle, play music that makes you feel, then just look, gaze, witness yourself, see beyond critique, see the soul. The third option, speak your name. Say your own name aloud like it's a spell, because it is. Say it with reverence. This is glamour magic at its core. You become the spell. Releasing shame and embracing the witch body. Now let's get into the shadow side. We can't talk about power and pleasure without talking about shame. Shame is sticky. It clings. It silences. It dims our light. It tells us, don't wear that. Don't touch that. Don't want that. Don't speak that. It teaches us to fear our own bodies, our own joy, our own softness, our hunger, our desire. But I want to say something to you right now. You were never, ever meant to shrink. You were not meant to be quiet, polite, pretty in the background. You were meant to take up space, to move sensually, to walk like the earth bends to your hips. Shame was handed to you. That means you can hand it back. Here's a practice. Write a letter to shame. Let it speak. Let it cry. Then write a second letter from your pleasure self, your future self, your witch self. Let her say what needs to be said. Burn the first letter. Keep the second as a spell. And then let yourself be whole again. Let's take a moment to pause and go inward. Grab your journal, whatever you use for your magical record keeping, or you can just breathe and listen. Answer this. What do I truly desire that I've never said aloud? What does pleasure feel like in my body without shame? Where in my life am I still playing small? And what would expansion feel like instead? Now let's do a short visualization. Okay, so close your eyes. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Feel your sacral chakra glow. Soft, orange, deep honey. Now picture a version of you who is completely at home in their body. They move like a prayer. They speak with confidence. They're radiant. What are you wearing? Or what are they wearing? How do they speak? How do they love? Hold that vision. That version is already you. Rituals for sensual magic. So let's get practical. You've heard the theory. Now let's talk rituals. You don't need an elaborate ceremony or a lover by your side to tap into sensual magic. In fact, some of the most powerful work you can do is when it's just you and your body, your breath, your intention. Let me walk you through a few gentle, beautiful rituals to connect with your sensual power. So there's a mirror ritual for self-adoration you could do. You find a mirror, preferably full length, but whatever you have will work. Light a candle, color, type of candle of your choosing. Set the mood though. Music, the scent, aromatherapy, low lighting. Stand in front of the mirror and just observe yourself. Try your hardest not to judge. Just witness. Look into your own eyes and say, I honor this body. I honor my desires. I honor my journey back to myself. I'm going to repeat these. I honor this body. I honor my desires. I honor my journey back to myself. Then gaze downward slowly, tracing your form with your eyes, not to critique, but to see. Speak sweetly. Touch your hair, your arms, your hips. Then if tears come, let them. If laughter comes, welcome it. The mirror shows us what we avoid, but also what we must reclaim. Do this daily for a week and see what changes. Glamour magic spell. So this is one of my favorites. When you get ready, whether you're doing a full face of makeup or just brushing your hair, turn it into a ritual. Say out loud, this mascara sharpens my vision. This lipstick is my voice of command. This perfume turns heads and opens doors. This outfit is my second skin of power. I'm going to repeat these. This mascara sharpens my vision. This lipstick is my voice of command. This perfume turns heads and opens doors. This outfit is my second skin of power. Enchant every layer. As you move through the world that day, walk like a spell was cast, because it was. Sacred bath ritual. Water. Water is a powerful conduit for energy. A bath becomes a cauldron. Fill your tub or use a large bowl or foot bath if you don't have a tub. Add rose petals, hibiscus, jasmine, a few drops of your favorite essential oil, light some candles, play music that moves you, slip in and soak. Let your hands move over your body slowly, intentionally, not sexually, unless, well, that arises, but as a blessing. Speak to your skin. You are worthy. You are divine. You are home. You are worthy. You are divine. You are home. When you're done, let the water drain with gratitude. Picture it taking any lingering shame or doubt with it. Now, there's sex magic, solo or partnered. Sex magic doesn't require a partner, but if you do share it, make sure they're energetically aligned and understand the sacredness of what you're doing. Here's a solo ritual. Set your space, the clean sheets, candles, sensual music. Choose an intention. Let's say confidence or financial abundance. Carve a symbol or word into a candle and light it. Begin to touch yourself with reverence, slow, focused, purposeful. And at the peak, visualize your intention blooming like lightning striking fertile ground. Whisper your intention. Release, let go. After, thank your body, thank spirit. Let that candle burn all the way down, safely, of course. That's magic. That's power. That is sacred. I want to share a little of my own story with you. There was a time when I thought I had to earn pleasure, like a lot of people, when I thought rest was lazy, that luxury was selfish, that beauty was only for some people, and maybe I wasn't one of them. I used to dim my light so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. I dressed down. I softened my words. I tried to be easy. Even code switched. But my magic didn't thrive in silence. The more I honored my desires, not just in love, but in my craft, in my lifestyle, in my creativity, the more magnetic I became. And it's not just me. I've seen it with other witches too. There's something that happens when a woman or femme or queer person reclaims their body from the systems that try to control it. It's a revolution. It's quiet at first, then it's loud. This work is ancestral. It's generational. Many of us are the first in our line to choose ourselves, And that is powerful. Now let's end with a series of affirmations. You can speak these aloud or write them down later for your altar or book of shadows. Breathe with me. Let's inhale. Exhale. Repeat after me. My body is not a battleground. My pleasure is sacred. I do not shrink, I expand. I do not hide, I rise. I do not apologize for my desires. I embrace them. I explore them. I express them. I am the spell. I am the altar. I am the magic. I am the flame. Embodied power and taking up space. Let's talk about power, because reclaiming pleasure isn't just about feeling good. It's about reclaiming your right to take up space. You are not too much. You are exactly the right amount. When we shrink ourselves to be more digestible, we starve our magic. When we quiet our voices to be light, we lose our resonance. When we deny our pleasure to seem pure, we lose our sacred fire. There is power in the way you walk. in the way you laugh, in the way you say no, in the way you say yes. When a witch is in her body, in her pleasure, in her power, she changes the energy of the entire room. So ask yourself, where am I still playing small? What part of me am I still hiding? Who would I be if I stopped apologizing? Now say it with me. I take up space. I take up pleasure. I take up power. Shadow integration and healing spell. Now, let's bring the shadow into the circle because we don't do bypass over here. We don't pretend it's all rose petals and orgasmic bliss. Sometimes it's hard, messy, and painful, but it's worth it. So here's a healing spell to work with when you feel disconnected from your sensuality. Shadow healing spell for sensual reconnection. You're going to need a black candle for shadow, a red candle for desire, a mirror, a journal. Here are your ritual steps. You want to light that black candle and say, I call in the parts of me I've hidden. The shamed, the silenced, the sacred. Light the red candle and say, I call in the fire of my desire, the passion, the pleasure, the power. Gaze into the mirror and say 3 truths about yourself. One that's hard to admit, one that brings you joy, one that you're becoming. I recommend you journal your thoughts. When you're ready, extinguish the black candle and say, I do not fear my shadow. I welcome it. Let the red candle burn and say, I am becoming more of myself each day. Let your healing be witnessed by you. pleasure, magic, and everyday life. So let's talk about what happens after the ritual. Let's talk about how to live a life where pleasure and power become everyday magic. Because sex magic and sensual spells are not limited to altars and candles. You don't need a full moon or red lingerie to be a witch in your power. You are magic in motion, and your daily life can reflect that. So here are 5 ways to integrate sensual power into your everyday life. No cauldron required. Number 1, witchy morning routine for sensual energy. Start your day in ritual, even if it's just 5 minutes. Before you get out of the bed, place your hand over your womb or belly and say, "This body is sacred. This day is mine." When you shower, make it a spell. Let the water cleanse away yesterday's stress. Visualize it washing away any shame, doubt, or heaviness. As you moisturize or do your skincare, speak love into your skin. I am adored. I am divine. I glow with power. This routine grounds you in your body before the world has a chance to distract you. Number 2, pleasure altars. You can create a small sensual altar in your home. It doesn't have to be public. It could be in your bedroom, your bathroom, or your closet. You just might want to include a mirror, perfume or body oil, a rose quartz crystal, a small dish of honey, a photo or symbol of sensual deity like Oshun, Venus, or Lilith, a piece of lingerie, a lipstick, or a silk scarf. Visit your altar daily. Breathe in, touch, anoint. Remind yourself, I deserve beauty. I deserve pleasure. I am the offering and the altar. Number 3, erotic journaling prompts. So maybe about once a week, give yourself time to journal. Not about trauma, but about desire. Here are 3 prompts to try. What do I desire without apology? How does my body want to move today? What does my sensual self need to feel safe, seen, and celebrated? Let your pen be as raw and honest as it wants to be. No filters and no editing. This is private magic. This is spell work. Number 4, energy hex breaker for shame. Well, sometimes we pick up shame and guilt just by being in the world. Here's a quick hex breaker you can use to reset your energy when you feel disconnected from your sensual power. Here's what you'll need: a bowl of warm water, a pinch of salt, a few drops of rose or lavender oil, a small spoonful of honey. Stir the mixture clockwise and say, "From my crown to my feet, I am sweet. From the past to the now, I am free. I return to myself, whole and divine." Now dip your fingers in the water and anoint your pulse points, your wrists, your neck, your chest, and sacral center. Do this as needed to realign with your softness and your strength. Number 5, daily affirmations for sensual power. Here's a bonus affirmation set you can repeat throughout your day. You can print this out, speak it, just whisper it when you need to remember who you are. Here we go. My body is worthy of celebration. I radiate beauty, power, and joy. I do not chase, I attract. I do not apologize for being radiant. My pleasure is a spell that calls in all I desire. I am rooted. I am glowing. I am whole. Ancestral sensuality, honoring the lineage of pleasure. So let's talk about something powerful and often overlooked: ancestral sensuality. Because before colonialism, before shame was institutionalized, before bodies were regulated and demonized, our ancestors danced. They adorned, they seduced, they birthed magic through hips and hands and breath. We often honor our ancestors through grief and gratitude. But what about joy? What about beauty? What about the way they loved? If you're descended from people who were enslaved, colonized, exiled, or punished for their sensual expression, reclaiming pleasure is not just personal healing, it's ancestral liberation. You are the one breaking the spell of silence. You are the one reweaving the thread of delight that was cut. Here's a practice for ancestral sensual connection. You can light a white candle and place a glass of water near it. Add something sweet, honey, wine, fruit, perfume, and then say, "To my ancestors who danced, adorned, and desired, I honor your joy. I reclaim it in your name. Guide me as I move with sacred pleasure." This is a beautiful ritual to do on Fridays, Venus Day, or at any time you feel the need for guidance in your sensuality. Now let's talk boundaries as sensual protection. Okay, so now let's pivot slightly, but stay on the theme of empowerment, because we can't talk about pleasure without talking about boundaries. Boundaries are not barriers to pleasure, they're containers for it. When you create sacred boundaries, you're telling the universe, I only receive what honors me, what nurtures me, what lights me up. Energetically, boundaries are like beautiful, magical circle around your body. They protect your sacred yes and your sacred no. Here's a boundary setting spell. Write the following on a piece of paper. I honor my yes. I trust my no. I deserve respectful, reciprocal energy in all forms. I welcome only aligned, nourishing connection. Fold it 3 times and anoint it with protective oil like rosemary or clove. They work well. Tuck it under your mattress, your altar cloth, or even in your purse. And let it be a reminder, pleasure without safety is not pleasure. Erotic archetypes in witchcraft. Let's talk about erotic archetypes. These are patterns of sensual power that live within us all. You can embody one or all at different times in your life or magical practice. Exploring these can help you see your sensuality through a witchy lens without shame or limitation. Here are 4 powerful erotic archetypes for witches. The seductress, or siren. She's magnetic. She draws in what she wants without chasing. She speaks with her eyes. She moves like water. Her spells are charged with intention and attraction. She reminds us, desire is not a weakness, it's a compass. How to channel her? Well, wear something that makes you feel dangerous and divine. Practice walking through your home slowly, sensually, like every step is a spell. This sacred whore or priestess of pleasure. She sees sex as sacrament. She heals through touch, through presence, through joy. She holds ancient knowledge about the body and the spirit working together. She reminds us your body is not shameful. It is an altar. How to channel her? Set up a sacred space for sensual play. Silk sheets, oils, roses, mirrors, light incense. Touch yourself slowly, not to climax, but to worship. The Shadow Witch. She works with repressed desires, taboos, and the parts of us we hide. She dances in the liminal. She knows that erotic energy can destroy and rebirth. She reminds us your shadow craves integration, not exile. How to channel her? Journal your forbidden thoughts. Dance under the dark moon. Burn letters to your old shame. Let your rage and lust have a safe place to speak. The soft lover. She is gentle, tender, feminine without apology. She brings romance into everything. Tea, music, silk robes, fresh flowers. She reminds us pleasure can be slow, sensuality can be sweet. How to channel her? Create a soft evening ritual. Bath, candles, poetry. Speak to yourself like a lover. Use rose quartz. Invite beauty into your sleep. Now, ask yourself, which of these archetypes do I embody right now? Which one calls to me? Which one have I denied? You can create an altar or dress the part to honor whichever shows up for you. This is living magic. Here is a pleasure mapping meditation that I'd like you to try. This could be done with eyes closed or as a journaling practice. So first off, you want to breathe deeply. Let your awareness drop into your body. Now ask, what parts of me feel most alive right now? What textures, sounds, or sensations bring me joy? Where does pleasure live in my body today? Is it in my hips, my lips, my chest, my hands? You can do this anytime you feel disconnected. Pleasure mapping brings you back to yourself. No shame, no pressure, just presence. And I'd like to also offer an affirmation ritual or pleasure invocation. So take this invocation to your altar, your mirror, or your journal, and speak it out loud. Speak it like a witch in her full sensual power. I do not beg for sweetness. I become it. I do not chase beauty. I radiate it. I do not wait for pleasure. I create it. I am sacred. I am sensual. I am free. Say it again. Say it until it hums in your skin. Thank you for walking with me through this journey tonight. This isn't just a conversation, it's an initiation, a reclamation, a return to your own sensual temple. If this video resonated with you, share it. Let's spread this message of embodied magic and sensual power. Drop a comment and let me know what's one way you're reclaiming your pleasure. What ritual are you going to try first? And if you want to go deeper, check the description for downloads, links to leaptaken.com, and spellbooks. Until next time, stay sensual, stay powerful, and keep reclaiming your magic. Blessed be.